We are going to begin a new section in this subject of the spirit of prophecy, and we are going to present it in a chronological way, the different prophets presented in the Bible, and also not all, but at least 90% of the persons in the Bible that also receive revelations or visions of oral transmissions, but they don't become prophets. So we will see this through this chronological presentation. Patriarchs and prophets say us about Adam. Adam, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Moses understood the gospel. They looked for salvation through man's substitute and surety. These holy men of old held communion with the Savior who was to come to our world in human flesh. Thus were revealed to Adam important events in the history of mankind. From the time when the divine sentence was pronounced in Eden, to the flood, and onward to the first advent of the Son of God. So it's very interesting. Patriarchs and prophets tell us that Adam received special revelations from God, and also mention what kind of revelations Adam received, because Patriarchs and prophets says that from the time when the divine sentence was pronounced in Eden, to the flood, and onward to the first advent of the Son of God, he received these revelations. So Adam received the development of mankind, of the people of God, until the end of the Old Testament and the beginning of the New Testament, according to Patriarchs and prophets. So, because from the time that he went out of Eden, through the flood, and until the first advent of the Son of God, Adam received all these revelations. That was revealed to Adam, say the testimony. And not only to Adam, because in the other quotation that we have read, also Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Moses received different revelations, and we will see this. But Adam at least received until the first coming of Jesus. And I don't think that was easy for him to receive this. When he was in a perfect world and needed to go out of Eden and see how terrible, how many distractions, evil, and all possible bad things will happen. And he was there saying this. So I can hardly imagine how this impressed Adam. Luke 1:70 mentioned this fact when it says, and he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So the Bible text says that God have prophets since the world began. And we have the proof. Adam was the first, according to the testimony. He received, revealed from Eden until the first advent of Jesus. Let us go to Abel. What happened with him? Hebrews 11:4 says, by faith Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. And then Patriarchs and prophets says to us, he brought the slain victim, the sacrificed life, thus acknowledging the claims of the law that had been transgressed. Through the shed blood, he looked to the future sacrifice, Christ dying on the cross of Calvary, and trusting in the atonement that was there to be made. He had the witness that he was righteous, and his offering accepted. If we contrast both cases, we see that Adam received the revelation, what is going to happen. In the case of Abel, he received and he accepted by faith that this victim that he offered as a sacrifice was Jesus. And he will come in the future. But that was not a revelation That was acceptance by faith. So we see the difference between both of them. Let us go to Enoch. Jude 14 and 15 says, the apostle Jude declares, and Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of this, saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment upon all. So, the Bible tells us at the beginning that since the beginning, God has prophets. We realize that Adam received revelations until the first coming of Jesus. Now, Enoch received even more. But according to this Bible text, we see that he received until the second coming of Jesus. So we see how the truth was increasing, giving from the Lord. The testimony says, in prophetic vision, he was instructed concerning the death of Christ, and was shown his coming in glory, attended by all the holy angels. God revealed to Enoch his purpose to destroy the world by a flood. And he also opened more fully to him the plan of redemption. By the spirit of prophecy, he carried him down through the generations that should live after the flood, and showed him the great events connected with the second coming of Christ and the end of this world. So, we see here something interesting that confirms the complementary and the addition of the spirit of prophecy. So we find Adam and we have considered Luke 1:70 that says that from Eden, going through the flood and until the first Advent. Now, then we find yet Enoch. And according to Jude 14 and 15, we find that he received also from the flood, he received from the first Advent and the second Advent until the end of the world. So, this means until when? If he received until the end of the world. Because he said, and show him the great events connected with the second coming of Christ and the end of the world. So, when is the end of the world? Completely. When this world ended and become a new earth and a new heaven.
Is the third coming?
Yes, after the 1,000 years is the third coming. Because the Bible says, in a new earth. So this earth is no more, not as we know it. Will be completely purified by fire. So he even received until the third Advent. So we see here something very interesting. The spirit of prophecy is progressive and have to do with the concept of the present truth. So, from Adam until Enoch, they have the revelation about this. That was present truth for them. They didn't know more. Now, from Enoch, then that was the seventh. After Adam, what happened? They have all this information plus from the first Advent to the second Advent and until the third Advent. So we see that the spirit of prophecy is not a static gift. So it's not something that happened today and remained there forever and ever. So the spirit of prophecy is progressing. Is receiving more and more information. And was added even more information to this that they already know. Because we will see that by Noah was even confirmed again to the flood. And they go through all this again. So it's a complementation and complementary gift that added one to another. Let us go to Noah. By faith, Noah, being warned of God, of things not seen as yet, Hebrews 11:7. 120 years before the flood, the Lord, by a holy angel, declared to Noah his purpose and directed him to build an ark. Now, this is interesting. He received a vision. The Lord spoke to Noah. This is what the Bible tells us. And say, Noah, you are going to do this and this and this, according to this size, during this time, and you are going to preach that a flood will come, and if the people don't change, if they don't convert, then this planet will completely be destroyed by water. So, now, here is something interesting about Noah. We have used Hebrews 11:7. Now, he received again the flood. What this means? With Adam, the flood was prophesied. So Adam knew that flood will come. The Lord showed him. Enoch also knew about the flood. But now, with Noah, these two prophecies given by Adam, giving to Adam and to Enoch, was confirmed in the person of Noah. So what this means? The prophecy was given, not fulfilled when was given to Adam, also not fulfilled when was given to Enoch, but fulfilled when given to Noah. So this helps us to understand that the present truth increased and came to a higher point of fulfillment. So Adam received the first information about it. Enoch received the information and was reconfirmed the prophecy that also Adam received, that a flood will come. And he announced to the people, so Noah was not the first that say a flood will come. Adam knew about this. According to the Bible and the testimonies, Enoch knew about it too. But now was a reality, because now the Lord said, go and build me an ark. And I give to this planet 120 years, no more. So, a word prophecy became a numerical prophecy. Here we have a word prophecy. Here this prophecy in his fulfillment became a numerical prophecy, because now the Lord gives a specific time. They say to Noah, from this time you began to build will be how many years?
120.
120 years. Only. No more, not less. And then this prophecy will be fulfilled. But was given to Adam, was given to Enoch, was given to Noah. And a word prophecy became a numerical prophecy. And with this numerical prophecy, the circle closed. Completely. Here was given, not fulfilled. Here was given, not fulfilled. Now here is given, reconfirmed the third time, added a numerical period of time, and then close. Because after these 120 years, the flood came, and a new beginning came to this planet too. So then this section of the prophecy was completely and we follow the other sections. So it's very important how the Lord handled the information. For Adam was not needed to know years and time. Also not for Enoch. But when Noah came and God chose him because he found the only righteous among all this population on the earth, he set a specific time. And when God set time, is the last word, is final, the prophecy. Here was addition from Adam to Enoch. From Enoch to Noah, the people knew and realized that it's even near, because the prophecy is confirmed again by Enoch. Was not only Adam was saying this, that one time this earth, because of the evil that is on this planet, God have told him he will destroy this planet with water. Enoch repeated the same, and the people hear again. And now with Noah saying, now is the time. Yet will this happen. And only you have 120 years. After this is finished. So we see the progression of the spirit of prophecy in this specific case, because generally the people say, yeah, Noah came and began to preach. And the people didn't know about flood before. So they didn't know about water because it was not raining. This is what the Bible and the testimony confirmed to us. But the flood was announced. Even before Noah, we have the confirmation by the Bible and also the testimonies. And this happened very often to us, that we have a lot of prophecies that are in fulfillment in front of us, with the ecumenism, with the relation with the Eurozone, with the Pope, with the United States. And this is fulfilled in front of us. And we don't realize how near we are, because it's a progressing information. But came the time that became numerical. And when a prophecy becomes numerical, it's final. So let us go on. Let us go to Job. Job 42:7 says, and it was so that after the Lord had spoken these words unto Job, we find here a revelation, it's an inspiration that he received, and was an oral communication. And this is something completely different, because it has to do with the personality of God and the personality of human beings. And this is what the book of Job emphasizes, how God is and how human are. So it's one of the main anthropological books of the Bible, because all the time is the comparison how God is and how human being is, how we deal with things and how God deals with things. So Job is an emblematical book about the study of the nature of mankind. And the Lord presented this in an oral divine communication to Job. And after, because Job himself didn't write down, Moses was the one that wrote down this, according to what we have already studied. So we have these three main elements here. So we know that when only 8 persons remain after the flood on this earth, they have the completely present truth, because Noah received everything, all this information. So these 8 people that came out of the ark have the knowledge about the first coming of Jesus, the second coming of Jesus, and also until the end of this world. So they began a new world with the present truth. And that was the present truth, because that was already fulfilled. So that was period. Flood happened, the numerical prophecy from the 120 years fulfilled. They were witnesses of it. And then they began now the new period with the projection to the first, second, and third advent of Jesus. So now we have Abraham in the picture. And in Genesis 15:1 says, after these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abraham in a vision. And patriarchs and prophets tell us, he communicated his will to Abraham and gave him a distinctive knowledge of the requirements of his law and of the salvation that will be accomplished through Christ. And to this was added the assurance precious about every other to the inheritor of faith, that of his line, the Redeemer of the world shall come. The Lord himself declared Abraham a prophet, God himself. It's the first time that we find this. We know that Enoch was a prophet. Also Adam received it. But that the Lord direct qualified in Genesis with this title, we find in Genesis 20, verse 7. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet. And God himself said this from Abraham in Genesis. So, then we go here to Abraham. And in Genesis 15:1 is when we read that he received a vision. 15:1. And what he received in this vision, we know that he was called. How many times Abraham was called? At least 2, 3, 5, how many?
3.
Which are these 3? When was the first time? Where was the place that he lived originally? Ur of Chaldea, right. So he was called the first time there to go out of there. Yeah? And then where he went? To? That was part of Assyria. That was Haran. Yeah? He stopped there, and his father died there, yeah, in Haran. Because all the family accompanied him, his brother, his nephew, and his father, from Ur to Haran. And now in Haran, God called him and said, you need to go on. You need to go out to the promised land. And that was Canaan. So what happened there? His brother remained there. So he went out only with his belongings, his wife, and also his nephew. Yeah? So then the testimony says, he communicated his will to Abraham. And then say, and give him a distinct knowledge of the requirements of his law. So was an enlargement of the information of the requirements of the law. So we find him here. So he received all this inheritance. So he knew about this. Therefore, the testimony said that when the Lord said to him, you need to sacrifice to me his son, he believed that even if this happened, God is able to resurrect him. And how he knew about resurrection? Because he knew about what? The second coming of Christ. He knew about this. He knew. He knew about the second coming because that was the inheritance of the truth. And he knew about this because Noah knew. And Noah transferred to his descendants. And Abraham was a descendant of Seth. But beside all this information was exactly how the testimonies say, a distinct knowledge of the requirements of the law. So plus all this was a broad information about this. And of the salvation that will be accomplished through Christ. And also more explanation about the plan of salvation related with the first coming. So, this same information that he received was enlarged. Even more message was given. even more. And to his was added the assurance precious about every other to the inheritor of faith, that of his line the Redeemer of the world shall come. Was not saying until this time. Because in Genesis 3:15 say, from the seed of the woman will come the Redeemer. Now, it's more specific, I'll say, from your line. So, from the line of Abraham, and which is the line of Abraham? Came from Noah. Noah had 3 sons. Which were the 3 sons of Noah?
Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
So Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So Abraham was from the land of Shem. So only this line from Noah was confirmed to him that the Savior will come from the line of Shem. That was not known before. They knew only from the line of the faithful ones Jesus will come. But now was confirmed. And to this was added the assurance, precious, about every other, to the inheritor of faith, that of his line the Redeemer of the world should come. So that was the line of Shem. And we will see how this will be enlarged even to Jacob, that is not only from the line of Shem, but will be from the tribe of Judah. So we'll see how in every period was added more and more information, more in detail, in the same way as the time approached. So the present truth in the time of Adam, the time of Enoch, Noah, and Abraham, was the same with the additions. Because Enoch knew more than Adam. Noah knew all what they knew, plus the fulfillment of it. And with Abraham, he knew all this, what he inherited, this information of the present truth, plus more clarity about the law, more explanation about the plan of salvation, and the assurance that was not given until this time, that from the line of Shem, God will come, Jesus will come to this earth. So every one of them received something that nobody else received before. Enoch received until the end of the world. Adam received only until the first Adam. Noah received everything until the end of the world, plus he fulfilled this section of the prophecy. With Abraham received all this. He had the fulfillment of the flood. He know all these things. Added to him more doctrinal matters, law, plan of salvation, and line, prophetical line of the people of God. Not all of Shem. Because to Noah was saying a double blessing is given to Shem. Japheth need to go to live in the tents of Shem to receive the blessing. And Canaan will be a servant of servants. Was not clear from Shem or from Japheth. Shem was given a double blessing. He was not the firstborn, but he received the double blessing. Who was the firstborn? Japheth. So he didn't receive the firstborn, Shem received it. But Japheth was also not receiving a curse. Japheth received a blessing and say, you will go to the tents of Shem. And in this way also is part of the plan of salvation. But now he's saying to Abraham that from Shem. But Shem, how many children have Shem? How many? We have studied this already. Which chapter in the Bible you need to go into which book to find this? Which chapter? 5 is before the flood. And we are after the flood. Genesis 10, the table of nations. So, and then you find the following. The children of Shem, verse 22. Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, and Aram. So how many children have Shem?
5.
Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Haran. 5. Then, from which one came Abraham? We find this in chapter 11. Yeah? And we see here only the line of Arphaxad. So from the 5 children of Shem, because the blessing was given to Shem, but in the case of Shem, he have 5 lines. Now, to Abraham was saying, not all the descendants of Shem, only for Arphaxad. And then Arphaxad was number 3. So from Arphaxad came Abraham. And from this line will come Jesus. That was promised to Abraham. So not all the line of Shem. Between the 5, only one. And that was Arphaxad. And this light and this revelation was given to Abraham. So the prophetical line of the people of God was confirmed. Let us go to Isaac. Genesis 26:24. And the Lord appeared unto him the same night. So Isaac received also revelations. And we know that he received direct messages from God in various occasions. So he revealed his will in different ways to Isaac. Confirmed the same truth given to Abraham to him and say from your line. And Isaac had the same problem. His wife was not able to have children, from where the line will be confirmed. But we know that the Lord finally gave them not only 1, but 2 children. And again came the problem because of this, of the line. Let us go to Rebecca. What she is here included. Let us see. The Lord gave to her, a prophecy. Genesis 25, 22, and 23. And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy bowels. So Rebecca was concerned because he felt this fight inside of her body between these 2 living beings that fight all the time. So she was very much concerned. So she went and inquired of the Lord why this happened, what is going on with these 2 sons that you have given to me. And then the Lord said they are 2 nations. And say even more, the younger will rule upon the older, and the older will serve the younger. The Spirit of Prophecy, Patriarchs and Prophets, page 178 says, Rebecca remembered the words of the angel, and she read with clear insight than did her husband the character of their sons. She repeated to Isaac the angel's words. Jacob had learned from his mother of the divine intimation that the bride should fall to him. So Rebecca received the divine prophecy regarding the future of her children and communicated it to her husband and also to them. So Rebecca explained to Isaac this revelation and also said to Esau and to Jacob. And again, that was a confirmation of this principle that Abraham received, of the line. Because between the 5 children of Shem, only the line for Arphaxad. And from the line of Arphaxad, Terah, the father of Abraham, have how many sons? 3. 3 sons. 1 died, that was the father of Lot. And the Bible says the father the son died before the father because Tareh was alive and his son died. And this is mentioned in the Bible because that was not biological correct, that the son died before the father. But was the case. So Tareh had 3 sons. One died, that was the father of Lot. Then we have Abraham, and we have the other brother that went with him from Ur to Haran and remained there. And Rebekah came from them. Yeah? From this relative of Isaac, because Rebekah was her cousin from Isaac. Okay? So from these 3 sons, again, was only one, that was Abraham, not from the other 2. From the line of Lot, they become even enemies of the people of God, the 2 tribes from the descendants of Lot, and not from the other children of Terah, because the other one remained there, but only from the line of Abraham. And then came Isaac, and from Isaac became also only the line of Jacob. So the reconfirmation of this same truth is also confirmed. Now let us go to Jacob. And Jacob went out and went toward Haran, and he dreamed. And behold, a ladder set up. The Lord stood about it and said, I am the Lord. This is a wonderful dream that he received. And it's a dream that presented the plan of salvation in a other perspective, because if you remember, that was presented to Abraham. Abraham gave all this information with all this background also to Isaac. Isaac gave to his sons. And now Jacob received now an enlargement of the same plan of salvation. And Jesus himself used this dream that he gave to Jacob to explain to whom the plan of salvation. To whom? Yeah. Jesus used in the New Testament this dream that Jacob had, that he received of a revelation from God. Jesus used to explain to somebody about the plan of salvation. To whom?
Nicodemus.
Yes. So we find here a wonderful connection between this revelation that Jacob received. So Jacob here received all this together, plus more about the plan of salvation. Even more. So he had all this plus the plan of salvation. In the first part of his life, we will see more. So in this direct communication that Jacob received from God, there are basic doctrinal principles that he knew it, because he mentioned, for example, to make a covenant with God, mentioned the tithe, many other doctrinal elements that confirm to us that this is what Abraham practiced about the tithe, and he received from his previous generation, and he also gave it further on to his descendants. And then we find Joseph, and Joseph also received dreams, and not only one. Genesis 37:19 says, and they say one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. And then in Egypt, Genesis 41:15 saying, Pharaoh say unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is no one that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee, that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. This is interesting element here. So it's not only to receive a dream, but to be able to interpret it. And in Joseph, we find the both elements. So he received the dream or heard from somebody else, And he received the gift of God of the interpretation. So not only the dream himself, but also the interpretation. So these two elements came together in the person of Joseph. But let us finish with Jacob. We have confirmed that he received all these truths and plus the plan of salvation. But that was not the only time that he received information about the plan of salvation. That was at the beginning of his new period of life when he fled from his own house, but also at the end of his life. In Genesis 49. But let us go first to 48. In a specific moment that was like an example of what happened in his life. Because when Joseph came to him and presented these two sons to Jacob, Jacob was not able to see properly. And then we read in 48. And Joseph say, no, and Israel, 8. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons and say, who are these? And Joseph say unto his father, they are my sons, whom God hath given me in this place. And he say, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now, the eyes of Israel were dim from age. So he was not completely blind, but was not completely clear in his sight, so that he could not see properly. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God hath shown me also thy seed. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And was not by chance why Joseph had done this, because the first one was at the right, and the second one was at the left. So in order to help Jacob to understand who was the first one, okay? And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the first one. And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God which fed me all my life long unto this day. And so is the blessing here. And then, and when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. Okay? Because he was not the firstborn. And he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head and to Manasseh's head. So Joseph took the hand of Jacob to change the position, okay, to put the right upon Manasseh. And his father refused, say the Bible, and his father refused it and said, I know it, my son. I am blind, but I know what I am doing. I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations, and so forth. So it was exactly what happened to Jacob in his young age. But he don't commit the same mistake as his father Isaac. And the Lord revealed to him that needed to be like this. Now, that was one revelation. Let us go to chapter 49. He made a prophecy for every single son that he had, but especially about Judah. Judah and Joseph are the longest prophecy in this chapter. And Judah is interested for us because then we find the confirmation of the line. Because to Abraham was given from his line. To Isaac was confirmed from his line, but not from Esau, but from Jacob. That was given a prophecy also. And now here the Lord said, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stoopeth down. He coucheth as a lion. And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come. So from whom will the peace, the rest come? From Judah. Now is the confirmation of the prophecy. When Isaac had 2 sons, came the prophecy, only one is the line of God, it's Jacob. When Jacob had 12 sons, from which, not from the 12, here is given from Judah. And unto him shall be gathering the people be. And then came also the messianical prophecy, binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass colt unto the choice wine. And he washeth his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His ass shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Here is the passion of Jesus described. So, again, he received all this information, plus the plan of salvation, plus the line. More specifically, was saying from Shem, then from Shem to Arphaxad, from Arphaxad to Abraham, from Abraham to Isaac, because how many children have Abraham?
He only had 2. Oh no, Isaac and Ishmael, and then after
I know you will tell me too.
afterwards he had more.
But they were children. When we speak about children, no matter what's before and after, they were children. So
No, they're not mentioned very much.
it's a completely chapter of the Bible dedicated to him, to them. So it's enough. It's enough. It's enough.
I believe it was 8 children that he had.
Okay, count it.
8 or 5.
And it's so important that Sephora was one of the descendants of Keturah, the wife of Moses, Jethro. Yeah? And they were mixed again with the people of God. So no matter. So from the line of Abraham needed to be confirmed that only Isaac. Then when Isaac had 2 children, needed to be confirmed again only one. And now that Jacob had 12, also only one is Judah. Not that the other people are not the people of God. They become people of God. All of them, the 12. But from only one will be the line, will be the Savior coming. So we are going to stop here. And the important thing that we need to remember, beside the details that are also important, is the way how the Lord developed the transmission of the truth through generation. Was given through the spirit of prophecy and was added and added and added. So for each generation, we find the present truth. The present truth don't annulate the past truth. Confirm and is coming to addition to it. So the spirit of prophecy always increase, never reduce. Increase with the pass of the time and the generations, and especially with the confirmation of the events that were prophesied beforehand. So may the Lord help us to understand it, and that this knowledge will be part of our life and confirm us also in the right understanding is my wish and prayer. Amen.